Hey everybody, welcome back. I am the Gerbil, and this is the Galaxy Last Week, June 19th. It's been a busy week. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to keep this brief. Once again, this show is a kind of a summary of all of the interesting things that happen both on the holotables and beyond the game, but I aim to present it in a way that maybe we can foreshadow or see what might be on the horizon for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. All right, here's a list of everything that's happening, but let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so from the developers this week, we had a title update. Traditionally, title updates are huge things. This one, not so huge. What most people probably wanted was either new playable content or quality of life updates. We did get a couple, and I do mean a couple, quality of life updates. One was obviously the shipment stores we can see down below here. It was updated primarily. They took the tabs across top, moved it over to the side, and then they did give us a solid improvement for the mod shop. Here now we can see what the mod stats are. Before we had to click on it and it was super annoying. Beyond that though, the real only call of fame to this title update was the introduction of the Datacrons that we knew were coming. There's a couple of nice things in that. The Datacrons do come with a 14-day calendar to get us started, which was free, and that the Datacron tab in the store includes some realistically accessible features. You can use Shard Shop, you can use ally points to acquire stuff, but it's going to run out real fast. Obviously, you can see the prices here for example, 500,000 data caches, which is your primary like upgrade material. You know, 500,000 of those cost 50,000 ally points, which that takes some time to accumulate, especially for free to play. And if you are free to play, of course, you're not going to want to use your Shard Shop currencies because you probably need that for your gear, especially Gear 12 pieces. So that's kind of a bummer, kind of a big bummer in a way. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's also not a good thing. CG did emphasize, of course, that Datacrons are targeted towards veteran players who would have lots and lots of this lingering Shard Shop and ally point currency available. So what do veteran players, of course, have? Well, they have Inquisitors, right? Wrong. We did get our first Inquisitor assault battle also with the title update. There was Inquisitor goodness in there, I suppose, if you can call it goodness. I seem to be among the very, very small minority who actually enjoy the Inquisitors. They seem to be loathed, utterly loathed, at least on the Reddit channels where I frequent. But nonetheless, we got an Inquisitor assault battle, and while most people are thoroughly disappointed and unhappy with it, I would like to point out two things. First off, it is a reoccurring monthly event whereby you will get free gear and shards. Even if you are a late game player, it is at least Relic and Gear 12 stuff in addition to Shard Shop currency. If you are a new player, you probably at least have the marquees of the Inquisitors, and it turns out you can beat tiers 1 and 2 with relatively low gear. And by low gear, I mean people have beat tier 1 with as low as Gear 5 Inquisitors. If you mix it, I've seen a Gear 7 with Gear 2 Wingmen still manage to clear it, which gives you at least some shard shares, shard currency to work with. So that's a very positive. It is additional monthly reoccurring content. The second thing I'd like to point out, and this one may be a little bit snarky and I don't mean it to be, but you don't have to play it. I know a lot of people, especially on Reddit, are just angry about this, about Inquisitors feeling like they're being forced to play it. I would like to remind everybody this is a video game and you don't have to play it. You don't have to play every event in the game. And I would also point out that there are some assault battles that are still unbeatable for the vast majority of people, whereas this one is actually relatively easy. It really, really is. I was able to beat Challenge Tier 2 using 2 Gear 12 characters. Now, I know I also have the other Relic 5 because I am going for the Grand Inquisitor, but I think that over time, even a slow farm will enable you to get through Challenge Tier at least 1 relatively easily. So I think that this is a positive thing, and of course we don't know how Grand Inquisitor is going to affect the team yet. There is a funny post here though from Reddit, speaking of Reddit, that says at least CG is honest that they did intentionally designed Datacrons to cause some amount of pain. They had a Q&A session on their forum, and the question was, how much community feedback will you take into account during the exhibition period for these Datacrons and things? And the response was kind of funny. They said, we'll be looking at the feedback for what is fun and what pain points are outside what we had intended. What pain is outside what we intended? In other words, we intended pain. That's not what they meant, but I just thought it's a funny ha 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 ha. Moving on. Another thing that came with the title update was a rather decent list of fixes. I would also like to point out, no, I am not trying to be a CG defender. I am not. I really, really am not. But I perpetually see people on Reddit again saying, I wish CG would fix things in the game, and I agree with you. There is a lot of stuff to fix, but I would like to point out that they did fix quite a few of them. And two things we did not need them to fix, which this is a big disappointment right here. Thank you, CG. The new Proving Ground disappointing event where you can farm shards of Cat and Razor Crest are now indeed truly inaccessible to people who already have them. Previously, there was a bug that allowed us to complete it if you already had them at 7-star, where you at least got some Shard Shop currency. Given that Datacrons are now accepting Shard Shop currency, CG, this would have been nice to let us continue to have some Shard Shop currency through this bug that you have now fixed. Why don't you unfix that bug? That would be really, really appreciated. All right, let's move on. Beyond the updates, what was the community's reaction to Datacrons? Well, to put it lightly, now that they're out, even after they're out, the reaction is overwhelmingly negative. Cubs Fan Han, who is actually among my favorite YouTubers, went on a rant like I've never seen. He is just furious beyond words right now at the Datacron situation, and I understand. I don't think it's as bad as he says, but people are really, really angry about it. However, after a little bit of time and a little bit of exploring, some people, Arnold T101 and Heinessy, have put out some little bit more softer tone perspectives where they're exploring it and talking about what their overall first impressions of it are. And essentially, I will summarize it, but I highly encourage you to go watch these guys if you want to know more. But essentially, their response is meh. They have absolutely no incentive to farm it, neither do I. Beyond the first day when it was available, I have gone back to look at it a total of once, where I realized I don't have the currency, and then the little button in the bottom right corner to where it shows what you need, I don't have those, and you can't tap on it to go find them, and I'm not interested in going to hunt around to see what they are. And I'm playing Conquest, and I'm just completed Phase 3 this morning, Sector 3, and I have not played a single one of the Conquest nodes for Datacrons because the lower the sectors, the better the rewards, so I have no incentive to even try the node on Sector 1, 2, 3, or 4 until I get to Sector 5 and clear all of Conquest. Even then, that's for me going to be day 7 or 8 of the Conquest event, and I'm not going to have the spare currency until the last day or 2, if then, assuming I don't refresh crystals. So I just have no incentive at all to farm these. A lot of people are really, really unhappy, feeling that if you don't roll a good enough Datacron, then you're just going to be subjected to perpetual losses in GAC. I'd like to also remind everybody, no, that's not true, because it only affects one squad and per Datacron. And while, yes, there will always be whales, there will always be whales who will have more Datacrons than you. So whereas I've been winning with 2 GLs against even people who have all 6 when I get lucky, the fact is people in this game will always be able to buy an advantage. So Datacron is just the next thing. But I actually don't expect many people to whale on this. I really don't. There's no long-term advantage to it. They're not something you can keep in your inventory. I don't see even the hardcore whales going crazy with this. I think that this is just going to be like a sort of forgotten thing very soon. I could be wrong. I really could. But while I got one Datacron with a good roll, I expect it still to be fundamentally useless as far as I'm concerned, because it has like a 96% health steal. Oh, that's good, I suppose, but I'm not going to be going, that is not going to encourage me or incentivize me to take a team and go against something it should not already beat anyway. So I guess I'm saying I don't expect Datacrons to change their play habits from using the proper counters in the right circumstances. Now, of course, in the mid to lower early game, you're not going to have all the proper counters and things, and so there will be more exploration and more play and trial and error. But in that bracket of player, there's even going to be less Datacrons. So I just don't see this as being game-changing for anybody, to be honest. I think it's really just a meh that's going to go away. Okay, moving on from Datacrons, though, there was, with the title update, of course, the typical it's not working as intended. A lot of people, myself included, got soft locked out of the game. I was unable to play it for a few hours. I managed to get back in. Don't know why. When trying to log into the game the first time, it tried to log me into an unknown account. I guess it's that bug, but I had an opportunity there for a moment to log into somebody's account. It said you are now being switched to the account name level 85, and I was like, that's not me. No, I'm not going to do that. So CG, you had a hot fix on the 13th, on the 15th, on the 17th. Your forums is more about bug, hotfix. You probably want to invest in some quality assurance managers and playtest this stuff, folks. This is not good. Nonetheless, these soft locks hopefully have been fixed, and maybe we can move on now. Okay, some positive stuff here. I did find this one over on Reddit. This, I think, is a really, really, really awesome graphic showing all the stuff that's coming. I don't even know what some of this is. Star Wars Summer Vacation just looks fun. Young Jedi Adventures, Tales of the Jedi, Jedi Survivors, Andor, which, oh my god, Andor's looking amazing. Truly amazing. I am more excited for that than I have been anything else Star Wars related. Anyway, check it out. You're literate. Take a screen grab if you want. Good stuff. I do want to talk specifically about Tales of the Jedi, which is coming this fall. Now, Tales of the Jedi is a 6-part animated series that is promised to bring us all new tales, and each episode is going to be a story of a different Jedi. Now, they've already leaked a few of them, or rather shared through some interviews and discussions, but we're getting a Count Dooku as a Jedi story. That sounds so much fun. We're getting an Ahsoka story, which we got a lot of those already. We're getting a Yoda story, but we're getting a Yaddle, baby. We are learning more about Yaddle finally. And of course, we're going to get a Mace Windu, an early Mace Windu. Who's the 6th? I haven't heard yet, but I am really stoked for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, over at Screen Crush, they dropped this video. I always go watch them. After every Star Wars movie and show, they always do a Easter egg thing where they try to share what we might have missed, and I loved this one. In particular, this most recent one about Kenobi Episode 5 had some really cool insight to the development process at Kenobi. So this isn't really a spoiler yet, but did you know, as they explain, each of the Kenobi TV shows mirror, at least in some degree, the 6 cinematic movies. 6? There's 9 of those. Okay, let's take a look at this. So episode 1 is mirroring, it's on a desert planet. They meet a Force-sensitive child. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi versus episode 4, A New Hope, right? So it starts off in a desert and we meet a Force-sensitive kid, Luke in this case, both times actually. Episode 2 then goes to a futuristic planet where they investigate. Obi-Wan is investigating something. This is going to be like Star Wars episode 2, I guess it is, this one. Episode 2. And then, no. So that's, no, my bad. That's not even episode 4 of New Hope. I hadn't even realized that. That's the Phantom Menace, right? They're on Tatooine. They find Anakin as a young child versus here's Obi-Wan on Tatooine, and he's over there watching over Luke. And then in episode 2, right, remember the famous, you want to buy some death sticks, right, in Coruscant? Well, they kind of reproduce that scene. And then in episode 3 versus the original movie episode 3, somebody gets dragged through fire and burned all up. Woo! There's more similarities. Now we get to A New Hope, where Obi-Wan Kenobi is rescuing somebody, Princess Leia, from the Death Star, whereas in the TV episode, he's rescuing Princess Leia from the Inquisitors castle, right? Then in episode 5, the Millennium Falcon escapes right in front of Darth Vader, who walked down the hallway, and it happened again, except it's not the Millennium Falcon. So what does that mean for episode 6? Are we getting Ewoks? I hope so, but I know it's not going to happen. There's not going to be any Ewoks, but I can hope. Anyway, check out Screen Crush if you want to see more about this. It's actually really cool. There are lots of similarities, and he talks about several of those. Okay, we got to move on. Guess who's coming back to Star Wars? This is not 100% confirmed, but Starkiller, yep, Lorestar has some really interesting theories and evidence that Starkiller is in the works, going to be returning to the screens, if not the games, real soon. Here's another one that's coming back. According to Jonathan Kasdan, who's one of the authors of the Solo movie, he recently sat down and did an interview, as Star Wars Mag is reporting, and he spoiled some hints about who's going to show up in future Star Wars TV shows, and it looks to be none other than Enfys Nest, though she says Enfys Nest. I don't know. Enfys Nest. I don't know how to say her name properly. I just say Enfys Nest. So Nest may be appearing in Star Wars live action television very soon, and I think that is also awesome, primarily in Cassian, the Andor show, which would be really, really cool to see a connection there. We also got coming to us the Mandalorian season 3, as we know, is on the way, but the official trailer that was showed at Star Wars Celebrations has been leaked several times, but this one seems to still be live last time I looked. So there's a link in the description below if you want to check that out. And then I want to go back one more time here to Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a really interesting little video from Mike Zero, who I don't know, but he's saying that, and he doesn't provide any citations, but he's saying that Disney, and maybe this is true, Disney has announced or stated that they are planning to fix some of the editing problems that people have had with the Kenobi show. In those fixes, they will include de-aging Anakin in the most recent episode with the flashbacks, improving some of the special effects, re-editing a couple of scenes, and then even adding deleted scenes that were removed due to time constraints. There's no secret that the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show has been rushed. Its production, its writing, it has been rushed. Disney admits it. The writers admit that. They wanted to hit the deadlines rather than delay it. So the rumor is, according to Mike Zero, that in the coming months they will re-release Obi-Wan with visual and editing fixes and additional scenes to make each episode a bit longer. I really hope that's true. I would love to see what the final vision of the show was supposed to be, not necessarily what we got. Nonetheless, I have to say I love the show. I give it at least a 9 out of 10. All right, now this really isn't pertaining to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes at all, but I just wanted to share out there. It hit me like a hammer. I hadn't realized. If you're a fan of the Kenobi series, you can buy all sorts of toys on Amazon and other places, from characters to Legos to models to robots. Just some cool stuff. All right, now what's on the horizon? Last thing on the show today, Grand Inquisitor and episode 6 of Kenobi are hitting at the same date, the 22nd. That had to be planned. There's no way that was a coincidence. I will be ready for the Grand Inquisitor, so watch my channel if you want to see some unlocking and maybe some gameplay. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to gear him on that day, but I will be able to unlock him, and I'm super excited about that. Also, here's the calendar for the remainder of June. Take a screen grab if you want. Not a whole lot happening. Of course, Grand Arena has already started by the time you likely watch this. If not, whatever. I mean, today is the 19th, so it starts tomorrow, okay? But anyway, thanks for watching, guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed this show of the Galaxy last week. Hit a like and subscribe again. It does mean a lot to me, and I will catch you later on the holotables. All right, peace out. Bye-bye.